received a generous donation from I'm going to name him as Philip S. Thanks for your great videos. I appreciate the message. You can add to the message whether you want me to read your full name in the video. Thanks anyway, Philip S. But hey, we just talked about adjectives in the previous video. So what is an adjective? That was our last video, the previous video. And I promised that I will look into the different kinds of adjective. Please keep in mind that although from a semantic point of view, adjective as a category of its own exists in all languages of the world, morphosyntactically speaking, many languages do not have an independent class of adjectives. In morphosyntax, you look at the way certain lexical items can go with other grammatical items when used in syntactic context. In grammatical description, when you want to talk about adjectives, one main way in which you do that is look whether an adjective has an attributive role in the syntax. And when we say attributive or attributive adjective, that's an adjective that modifies the head of a noun phrase. For example, if I say a simple noun phrase in English, the red dress, and ask you what the adjective is, you would most probably distinguish the word red as the adjective, which is accurate. Red is an adjective, but what is it an adjective for? What does it modify? The word red modifies the word dress. In the noun phrase, the red dress, it is a noun phrase because it's headed by a noun. In that noun phrase, there is an adjective that modifies the noun, and that adjective is red. And because it modifies the noun in this manner, it's called an attributive adjective. The word attributive, when we talk about adjectives, is contrasted with the word predicative. We have another group of adjectives called predicative adjectives or predicate adjectives. If we say the dress is red, red still is used as an adjective to modify dress, but it is not used inside the noun phrase. It is used post-verbally after the verb. It's still part of the verb phrase, but it is not part of the noun phrase. And when it's used in this way, it's called a predicate adjective. Even when you say the dress is Jane's, Jane's, which is a possessive construction, functions like an adjective, and it is a predicative adjective. Sometimes grammarians make a different way of classifying these, and they actually emphasize the predicativeness, and they divide adjectives into two groups, predicative, non-predicative. In the big store, you could say it's an attributive adjective, or you could say it is a non-predicative adjective, or it's non-predicative. When you say tall, in the sentence, John is tall, again, it's a predicate adjective or predicative adjective. Why? It follows the linking verb is and occurs in the verb phrase is tall. However, the same adjective in the sentence, John has a tall sister, is an attributive adjective. Here you see, when you say John has a tall sister, tall is used as part of a noun phrase within the verb phrase, and it is used after the verb. But the important thing is it is used as part of a noun phrase to modify a noun. Therefore, you shouldn't think that it is a predicative adjective. It is an attributive adjective. Do you see the potential confusion here? As you can see, definitions of adjectives are based on their distribution. That is, where the adjective occurs in the string of words. Adjectives can be found in two different positions, an attributive position within a noun phrase or in a predicative position within the verb phrase following the verb. Considering that the definition is based on position, we would assume that every adjective can be used both attributively and predicatively depending on its position. That would be hypothetically our expectation. The fact is that that's not the case. There are constraints on adjectives based on whether they can be both used attributively and predicatively, or one or the other. It means that not all adjectives can be used in both positions. And I'm talking about English. Adjectives that can occur both attributively and predicatively are called prototypical adjectives. You would think that they are the perfect adjectives. However, there are certain adjectives that cannot be used in both positions. For example, the adjective outright, when you say it's an outright lie, or similar adjectives like utter, chief, former. You can say that's an outright lie. That's okay. But you cannot say the lie was outright. You could say my former boss is here. Or you can say he's my former boss. But you cannot say the boss is former. These adjectives can occur attributively but not predicatively. There's another group that works the other way, which means they can occur predicatively but not attributively. For example, adjectives unwell. The adjective loath, asleep, can be used predicatively but not attributively. You can say the boy was asleep, but you cannot say the asleep boy. There are things according to which you can understand whether adjectives can be used only predicatively or only attributively. This situation can be explained semantically. Attributive adjectives tend to indicate permanent qualities for the noun. Predicative adjectives, on the other hand, specify features of the noun that are considered to be non-permanent. For example, the boy is asleep. Obviously, he's not permanently asleep. Again, this is like a tendency. You can't just say it's a hard and fast rule. There are other criteria with which we can classify adjectives in different groups. One well-known way to understand adjectives is to look at them as whether they are gradable or not non-gradable. For example, the adjective dead is not gradable. Person A cannot be more dead than person B. You're either dead or you're not. But you can be happier than person B. That's a gradable thing. And that is why we can use gradable adjectives comparatively or superlatively. I can be happier than you. You can be happier than me. And you can be the happiest person in the entire city. You see, happy, happier, happiest. It can be lovely, lovelier, loveliest, or lovely, more lovely, most lovely. Energy is either nuclear or it's not. One energy cannot be more nuclear than the other. Possible. Either something is possible or not. Something is either chemical or not. Something is either digital or not. They're not gradable. However, you can understand very much that in exaggerated forms of speech or in maybe sci-fi, literature, and they grade these adjectives and they say, he's dead, he's very dead. And I'm sure you've heard it in a movie.